Good morning. I'm Dave Williams, outgoing NACWA President and Director of Wastewater at the East Bay Municipal Utility District. Welcome to Philadelphia and NACWA's 2012 Summer Conference and 42nd Annual Meeting. The theme of our conference is Transformational Leadership, Changing the Game for the Next 40 Years of Clean Water. This October will mark the 40th anniversary of the Clean Water Act's passage. The success of the Act is undeniable and is evident across the country due to the hard work of everyone in this room and your peers across the country. But as we all know, challenges remain. NACWA recognizes that the Clean Water Act, as it was originally designed, may no longer be able to address the complex water quality challenges we now face. The Act and what it can and can't do will no doubt continue to be the subject of debate. What is most exciting is the transformational change that we are witnessing within the clean water community itself as this Clean Water Act milestone approaches. Clean water utilities are steadily changing the way they manage their operations, reframing what they do to emphasize their broader contributions to the community and the environment, not just the treatment services they provide. These utilities are changing the game and creating a new vision for clean water for the next 40 years. Over the next day and a half, we will hear from utilities and industry leaders that are taking part in this transformational change. We will also learn how NACWA is working to arm the association and its utility members with the tools necessary for effective stakeholder communication and advocacy into the future. It's sure to be an exceptional day and a half, and I'm anxious to get things underway. Before I introduce our first speaker, I want to remind everyone to review the important information material in your conference registration packets. All the speaker bios are included in there. And as is our practice, we'll limit our introductions to provide maximum program time for our speakers. So let's get started. We're thrilled here today to have Philadelphia and Howard Newkirk with us this morning. Howard is the Commissioner of the Philadelphia Water Department and a NACWA board member. He has the honor of opening our session by introducing a man who has worked tirelessly to make Philadelphia one of the greenest cities in America, a mission that earned him recognition as a 2010 NACWA National Environmental Achievement Award recipient for local public service. So Howard? Howard? Oh, there it is.
Good morning, everybody. Is everybody enjoying Philadelphia? Yeah. I'd like to recognize past Water Commissioner of the City of Philadelphia, Kumar Kishan, sitting here in the front row, past Board President of NACWA. It's my privilege today to introduce the Mayor of Philadelphia, Michael Nutter. It's really through his encouragement and leadership that Philadelphia's Green Cities, Clean Waters program that you're going to hear about all day long has matured and has been accepted locally, nationally, and with the environmental organizations. He's really brought together a government that recognizes the value of sustainability and interagency cooperation. He created an Office of Sustainability, formed government-wide metrics on a plan called GreenWorks, and created this clearinghouse for cooperation and leveraged funding. He directed the Deputy Mayor for Parks and Rec to create a plan called Green 2015, which brings together schools, parks, and water to do some pretty creative things in Philadelphia. And also, he's adding 500 acres of green pervious land to the park system in Philadelphia. He has provided leadership for us in Philadelphia, also in Washington, where he's now the president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. He's worked with the White House and Congress and EPA, HUD, DOT, to bring green development to Philadelphia, and he gets the connection between land and water that we're always talking about. He has indeed taken the message of One Water and the connection to Washington, and he's really made a difference. And lastly, he's had the audacity to take up the calling to make Philadelphia the greenest city in America, and I think he's just about to do it. So with that, Mayor Nutter.
Well, good morning. Must have been a late night for some of you. And that's a good thing. It's exciting to welcome you all, although I know you've been here for a little while, but your opening session for 2012 NACWA Summer Conference. Welcome to what we refer to as the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection, our little place called Philadelphia. Howard, thank you very, very much for not only the introduction, but for the great work that you're doing at the Philadelphia Water Department. And I, too, also want to recognize a guy I got to work with a great deal when I was a member of Philadelphia City Council. He was a constituent when I was a district council person, but a long time friend and someone I learned a great deal about water and other matters, and that is, again, Kumar Kishashan. Please recognize him one more time. Kumar, thank you. David Williams, who I guess somewhere in the midst of all this during the course of 2012 will transition out. I'm told that there's no happier president than a president who is passing the gavel. And I don't know about that, but please recognize our president, David Williams. And Suzanne, you'll soon find out what David is so happy about. Suzanne Goss, our incoming president, let us please recognize her as well. And Ken Kirk, who I met as I was coming in, our executive director. Ken, thank you for your great work, and I'm sure you'll ensure a seamless transition between our two great presidents. This conference changed the game for the next 40 years of clean water, and I appreciate the artwork and the graphics, the logo, the wonderful Philadelphia skyline in the background, but of course, as you see, we also figured out how to get naturally our wonderful Schuylkill River right in the center of the shot. Howard and his team paying attention to what's going on. In the last 4 years, at least during my time as mayor, we think that we've also developed some game-changing policies to make our waterways fishable, swimmable, and accessible. I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the things we've been doing over the past few years. Since 2008, January of 2008, when I came into office, I pushed very strong for improved water quality. As I mentioned earlier, I was a district councilman for 14 and a half years here in Philadelphia's City Council, and the Schuylkill River was a major part of my district. It was actually split the district in half. So I spent a fair amount of time focused on water issues as a member of City Council. I'm a lifelong Philadelphian, so I've paid attention to our water supply for a long period of time. We released our Green City Clean Waters plan, which aims to do just that and more, protect our waterways, but also take us to the next level and use our green infrastructure in a variety of innovative ways. When I became a member of the U.S. Conference of Mayors back shortly after getting elected, I also asked to be a part of the conference's Mayor's Water Council because I thought that, one, I could learn a great deal by being on the council, and two, if we had a few ideas in Philadelphia, I also wanted to share those with the conference. The conference is a fantastic network of mayors all across the country taking, stealing, utilizing a variety of each other's ideas, all with full credit, but also learning a great deal from each other. And so it's a real sharing of ideas and best practices all across the country. As president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, I want to reaffirm my commitment to improving our water supply all across the United States of America, working with our federal agencies, certainly the EPA, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes, but also ensuring the work of the Mayor's Water Council that we are doing what we need to do now as a conference all across the United States of America. There's little doubt that the ability to supply abundant, clean water is a vital municipal service and function. It's a necessary condition for our economic growth, and the quality of life is critical, certainly for public health and healthy rivers. Nationwide, cities and their water utilities find themselves under increasing pressure to meet continually evolving environmental, demographic, and financial challenges. They must do this while also doing what we normally do, meeting our customer expectations for safe and affordable water, collecting and treating wastewater and stormwater, providing flood protection, and maintaining clean, attractive, fishable, usable, swimmable waters and streams. Issues are compounded by new challenges of water quantity and water quality, aging infrastructure, and the impacts of climate change on our human health and our ecosystems. Philadelphia is certainly no different. While we have abundant water resources, we still must meet these challenges, requiring significant infrastructure investment and a paradigm shift in managing urban water resources. As our water system grows older, it certainly does not grow stronger by itself. I've worked with our Commissioner Howard Newkrug and the Water Department and a great team to make a major shift in investment toward Philadelphia as a sustainable city. And while doing so, take an economical, while also holistic approach to meeting our public health and environmental responsibilities. This shift has resulted in a revolutionary new approach in managing stormwater, major initiatives to reduce our energy use, and the incorporation of social, economic, and environmental considerations when we make capital budgeting decisions. The city has initiated numerous programs to manage these costs for renewal and replacement, and of course, operation and maintenance, terms that are naturally familiar to all of you. These include identifying new and improved strategies for managing our assets using a comprehensive computerized maintenance system and improved and more coordinated capital planning. We have extended the notion of look down the road for capital planning from 6 years to 25 years and developed a new financial model to manage these costs in the long term. As drinking water, stormwater, and wastewater utility service provider, and we do all three, the city also manages and reacts to a significant number of federal mandates on a daily basis. Today, the EPA policies most affecting our costs and impacting our programmatic decision-making also primarily involve stormwater management. The city is expending billions of dollars in this particular area, and that leads to our Green City Clean Waters program. This past April, the City of Philadelphia and the EPA joined together to celebrate an historic, game-changing agreement that recognizes the city's transformative approach to stormwater management with our Green City Clean Waters program. The EPA recognized that Philadelphia is leading the race for green strategies to manage our stormwater and its runoff, which is the 21st century's greatest challenge to the quality and beauty of our rivers and streams. Philadelphia's Green City Clean Waters program layers green technologies modeled on natural practices on top of our 3,000-mile sewer network. The purpose is to capture that rainwater on the ground, transforming our streets, our parking lots, our schools, and public spaces into green urban landscapes that reduce sewer overflow into our waterways. We aim to manage our rainwater locally rather than allow it to become a pollutant as it enters our sewer inlets and then discharges into our waterways. The City of Philadelphia is ready to commit $2 billion over the next 25 years to make our waterways thriving destinations, to implement the city's sustainability goals, and to provide additional community benefits to our neighborhoods. Our 21st century approach to stormwater management is also being encouraged in the private sector as well. In Philadelphia, we've changed the way we charge customers for stormwater services. We've created a parcel-based billing system that provides a truer cost of services model for our customers so that they can understand the impact of their land on our water quality and then to offer credits to customers who better manage their stormwater. Since 2006, new development or redevelopment projects in Philadelphia are also required to capture the first inch of rainwater runoff. We encourage the use of green infrastructure that will also enhance the natural amenities in our community. More and more, Philadelphia citizens and businesses see the city's waterfront as hotspots, and you're a part of it right now here at the Hyatt. Developers are proposing all kinds of commercial and residential development projects. Properties are being looked at in a very, very different way, both along the Delaware and the Schuylkill. Of course, Philadelphia is blessed to have two rivers, two great rivers. The Delaware River waterfront, where you are right now, is a destination for residents and tourists. And whether it's Sugar House Casino, the Independent Seaport Museum, or a number of restaurants and other locales, they call that home right here within the most historic square mile in the United States of America. The Delaware River Waterfront Corporation has released a master plan of their own to redevelop the area along the central Delaware River area. The plan calls for more civic spaces and economic development to bring people closer to the river. People always want to be near the water. Penn's Landing is home to events all throughout the year, including concerts, festivals, and of course in the winter, our own ice rink. The Ray Street Pier is a new pier that we opened last year. It's a new park that attracts visitors throughout the entire year. We'll actually be there tomorrow night. I'm hosting the leadership meeting of the U.S. Conference of Mayors in Philadelphia. We're having our opening session, social event. Where are we going? Right down to the Ray Street Pier. The area along the Schuylkill River is pretty busy as well. The Schuylkill River Development Corporation has also been hard at work providing programming to attract people to that river. That includes outdoor movie nights as well as kayak tours for the first time. And on any given day, you'll find runners, bikers, walkers, and many, many others taking advantage of the Schuylkill River Trail. Many also choose to use this space to picnic, read a book, or just simply relax and enjoy the beauty of our great city. The University of Pennsylvania recently opened Penn Park, a 24 million, 48-acre park with new athletic facilities all along the west river bank of the Schuylkill. Additional trails are being built along both rivers so that more people can enjoy access. We continue to make our rivers destination points, but there's more. Simultaneously, our rivers are also growing healthier. Last year, about 3,500 migratory shad passed through our fish ladder at the historic Fairmount Dam right along the Schuylkill River on Martin Luther King Drive, compared to only 41 in 2005. And for the first time in 200 years, several adult shad were recorded passing through the fishway 37 miles up the Schuylkill River. This is another monumental step in the ecological restoration of our legendary migratory fish spawning along the Schuylkill River, a prime example of our return on investment. I might also mention that because of the improved health of our river, we're now also able to host a number of triathlon events, and people are no longer afraid to swim in the Schuylkill, realizing that with more fish back in the river, it's an increasing sign of the health of the Schuylkill River. They tell me that it's a wonderful experience. I've not had that experience, and it is presently not on my schedule. But it looks great out there. I'm most excited about our work that we're doing with Howard, and that's certainly built upon, as I talked about, Kumar and Bernie and many, many others. I've had the opportunity to work with some great water commissioners, and their work and their experience and that background, we get to actually build and stand on the shoulders of some great leaders that we've had over the years. The Water Department is doing a fantastic job here in Philadelphia. But it's my expectation, and I'm sure certainly yours, that through this conference, you'll see firsthand some of the facilities that have been greened through our department's plan. In addition to stormwater management, the department has also been involved in a successful food waste diversion pilot program called Clean Kitchen, Green Community. Later today, you'll hear more from Howard and his team about some of the other exciting things going on in Philadelphia. This is about food waste, taking it out of the refuse stream, and we've partnered with InSinkErator to put out garbage disposals so that more and more food is going into garbage disposals and not into our trash. In Philadelphia, it's part of our goal to be at the forefront of sustainability. Now, Howard talked about being bold and proclaiming that Philadelphia would be the #1 green city in America, which is certainly, that is rather bold. But the true boldness is in announcing that on my first day in office, we actually had no plan to be the #1 green city in America. That didn't come out until April of 2009, but it was a driving force, and we are, as Howard said, we are actually well on our way. I believe that this city, along with many others across America, we have the power to lead conversations about how to build a more sustainable future, not just for our cities, but for the United States of America. And during this conference, it's certainly my expectation that strategies and best practices will be shared and progress will be made. And while we're out solving all the great water challenges, and they are numerous, and you have a lot of serious work to do, If you need any excuse note, I'm right up the street, little building with Billy Penn on the top. It's the largest city hall in North America. You won't miss it. And if you skip out and happen to stop by City Hall, I'd be glad to write you an excuse note so that you can walk around our city, certainly enjoy the restaurants, the shopping, the tourist attractions, and on behalf of the finance director, he's asked that I deliver one message, which is to please spend as much money as possible right here in the city. We could certainly use it. We're enjoying having you in Philadelphia. Welcome to the city and enjoy your conference. Take care. Bye-bye.